We're back with our skill builder, and we've got Darren Keats from Leyland. He's got a big problem with tree roots growing into his drains. He's moved into a bungalow. There's all kinds of problems with it, but this is the biggest problem that he wants to solve. So Darren, tell us about your bungalow.
We bought the bungalow on the 11th of December. We moved in, no electric, so there's been a catalogue of issues, foul smells in the main bathroom, damp soil smell on the ensuite, and severe damp in the spare room. The latest development was I lifted the drain covers the other day, yesterday, found both of them blocked to the tilt, rodded them fully, and cleared it. It sort of like sank down. But this morning I took a photograph and there's water laying in the actual run of the pipe work, when really there should be no water in there, you know. There's water laying in the pipe, so possibly there's more restrictions further down the line I cleared. But that was running nice and clearly yesterday once I'd done it, but obviously it's backed up slightly.
What I do is I chuck a bit more water down there. You've got some rods with a plunger on the end, haven't you?
Yes.
How far is it to the next manhole?
Probably onto the road.
Is it? You can't see that. That just goes into the road, yeah?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you could work out how many rods it would take to get you down to the road and just give it a good old push through, load of water, and it may clear it. I mean, if it doesn't, then it means you've got a little low spot on the drain and it's backing up. That would explain to some extent why you've got that water hanging in there in the manhole. You haven't got any tree roots or anything like that there, have you?
There are a good few trees along the front of the pathway to the house. I was wondering if you knew who the actual mitigation lies with. Is, you know, obviously, because I can't clear it my end on my property. Who's the mitigation on? Is it the council or?
How many houses are on that drain run? Just you?
Just me, yeah, because it's a detached bungalow. And we're not like close to each other, if you know what I mean. There is plenty of room around us. Yeah,
because when it's a sewer, if there's two properties or more joined onto it, it becomes a sewer. It's your local water authority anyway. They would be responsible for the drain. And if it's outside your boundary, then they're responsible for it. I don't, quite honestly, I'm not sure how the rule is at the moment, but people will no doubt correct us on this. But it may be to the branch connection, or it may be to the boundary of your property, because obviously you can't dig up the pavement. But sometimes they get away with it by saying, oh, we're only responsible for it from the point where it joins the sewer. So that last bit. But what I would suggest, if you've got some rods and you've got one of those little worm drive screws on the end of it, you know, like a corkscrew thing, that you bung that down there and you just have a kind of a fiddle about the sea. And if when you drag it back with some fibrous roots on, which is very common indeed, especially with old clay drains, you say 1930s, then you'll know that the problem is tree roots. And that doesn't mean the end of the world. It may just mean that you've got to just poke the rod down, pull it back, you know, keep turning that rod clockwise so that you don't unscrew the end attachment and lose that. But honestly, mate, sometimes I've put drain rods down in a drain and I've fished somebody else's drain rods out, you know. Somebody's lost them down there and they've walked away. So you can find all kinds of things down there, and hopefully a pot of gold as well.
So Darren jumped onto this problem. He got in there with the rods and he pulled out these fibrous roots. I mean, look at these. If you've got some better roots that you've pulled out of your drain, we'd like to see them. Who doesn't like a blocked drain? So you might think that's the end of the tale. The water was flowing okay. There were no smells. But he still wasn't happy that there was still a lot of standing water in that manhole. So he got in touch with United Utilities. They stuck a camera all the way through into the sewer, and guess what they found? And Roger was right. There was another set of rods. So somebody had obviously unsuccessfully pulled their rods out and just thought, we'll just leave it in there. So Darren's got the choice. He can either pull them out with another set of rods, or he can get a spade and start digging. We've had some experience with fibrous roots before. A few years ago, we had a blockage in these old clay pipes and it had entangled itself so badly that we had to just cut out the whole pipe run. Now you might see Darren later on our skill builder, because his problems didn't end there with his bungalow. He's got at least another 5 problems, so maybe we'll revisit him in the future. And if you want to appear on our skill builder, the link is on the screen, the link is in the description. Maybe we can get together, have a Zoom call and sort out your problem.